Hey guys, welcome to the Alpha Beta Kappa podcast.
There we go.
My name's Brandon, the Alpha.
I'm Jake, the Kappa.
And I'm Manny, the beta.
That's right. And you always will be
80, baby.
to me. So this is our new podcast. I don't necessarily really want to kind of niche it what we're going to talk about because it's going to be a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to talk a lot about the film work that Manny and I do. I know we're going to talk a lot about progression in terms of Jake's fitness, because he's getting into that and turning that into a business. So we're going to talk business, and we're going to go with whatever feels right. Kind of make it not so oriented to one thing.
Yeah, like overall, like self-developing.
Yeah.
As like individuals and as a group.
But I think we definitely need to tell you where the name came from, which isn't a long story. It's quick and simple, and it doesn't have a lot of meat to it.
Yeah.
So we'll put it out there. But Jake, you can take this one.
All right. So pretty much, we started drinking when we turned 21.
Right out of the womb.
And yeah, right out of the womb. And we were kind of like, well, like we don't go to college, and like when people go to college, they have like their fraternities and sororities and stuff. And like, let's have our own. We were like stupid counterculture to that, and we're like, let's call it Alpha Beta Kappa. And like we like just developed the idea like, oh, we'll make shirts and we'll do this and we'll have this type of this following, and we were just dumb. It was dumb.
We're dumb, but then it progressed into this podcast.
Yeah. But
that's
now
good.
we're making something of it, which is pretty cool to think about. And I still like the name. I like where it came from and how it transformed us into like who we are today.
Yeah.
So
I think it's, but I also think it's pretty simplistic, and super easy to remember, and also very different. So when you see it, you remember it, and I think that's kind of nice. But we were at a Denny's when we were just brainstorming.
Yeah,
a lot of podcast things.
Yeah, we were shooting out names, and we're like, oh, what about this? And at first, it started being film related.
Yeah,
because this, if you're listening to this on YouTube, this is has to do with Alienated Films, which we'll get into that a little more later. But we were just shooting like podcast names that have to do with like film stuff. And then Brandon was like, he said something that had the house, like the word house in it. And I sat there and I was like, wait, what the fuck are we doing, dude? And I looked at it and I was like, Alpha Beta Kappa podcast. And we all looked at each other like, all right, that's it. That's
now,
it.
I kind of wonder, and I've wondered this for a bit. Do you ever think somebody's gonna read the name and think that comedy podcast and our thumbnail? Because now you guys will see the thumbnail and it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I always wonder if people, which I don't mind, I don't care, because again, it's not gonna be funny, but it's not comedic central,
Right.
So it's not a comedy podcast. But the name is definitely almost I don't know, almost a hit on the fraternity and sorority names because of how ridiculous they are. And then the thumbnail is fucking ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. When I look at the thumbnail, I'm like, those are guys that know how to have fun and how to have a good time, and which I think a lot of people see too, because we're jumping in the air, kicking and flailing our limbs, and there's just cups and dumb stuff around. It's a fun time, and like obviously what we're going to talk about here is like, it may seem serious from time to time, but like we're talking about like in a way that it's uplifting and we're having a good time, because I like to think we like to have a good time in general, and we're good people.
Yeah. Well, I think also the importance of it being so out there and very vibrant and busy is because that's a big thing in whether somebody is going to click on it or not. I mean, I remember skimming through the podcast app in different categories. First of all, so many podcasts. It's fucking out of this world. I didn't know some people did podcasts, but everybody does. it's becoming the mainstream media and the easiest one to consume because a lot of them are visual, but most of them aren't. And the thing is you can always neglect the visual and listen to the audio, and it's so much easier to retain information from it. It's not censored if they choose for it not to be. I feel like it's becoming the mainstream media, and I'm just scrolling through these things, and there are very few that grasp my attention just from thumbnail alone. And I feel like the reason we wanted ours to be so out there and vibrant and busy is so it is really captivating to the eyes. Because being in the YouTube space, that's primarily what it is, right? You see the thumbnail, and the title and thumbnail are going to be the first thing you see. So it needs to be captivating. Whether Alpha Beta Kappa is or not, I don't know. But I know that when you put one and one together, the name and the picture, it's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it stands out for sure.
I do.
Compared to everything else.
Yeah.
And what I was saying about like the whole podcast thing, how it's becoming a trend, like even more as of recent. People are saying how like we're reverting back to like back then it was just like radio shows.
Yeah,
people would just they
it's
would
the
just
easiest
talk.
way to consume.
And then we got into the video and like TV and all that stuff, and then now we're just going right back to like radio show type thing with the podcast.
Fireside chats. FDR, man.
No, but that's okay. This would be kind of cool. I want to talk about like some of your favorite podcasts. I know we're all a very big fan of Crystalia podcast. Congratulations. That shit's hilarious. Purely comedic.
Yeah.
If you're into that shit, that is definitely one to check out. To be honest, because he's controversial. And I fucking hate that shit. But no, Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, is actually fucking really, really dope.
It is, yeah.
It's really dope. I would encourage people to definitely watch that. You know what I'm doing? I'm taking our viewers and I'm saying go.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this one. Listen to every other podcast.
Don't stay
No,
here.
but I think it's cool because, like, I don't know, there's a lot of podcasts out there, and to sift through it and try to find one that's good, you're probably not going to find one.
Yeah.
So coming to this one and finding equivalents to this is probably the best thing to do. But those are the ones that I am primarily consuming right now. I know you have a few different ones that you...
I consume quite a bit. There's the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Which they've been doing for...
forever. They're like on 540 something, which is wild.
And is it every week? Is it twice a week? Is it bi-weekly?
It's every week.
Oh, okay.
And it used to not be that way, like for like 4 months. But like ever since they started doing it was every week, which is it's nuts.
Kudos to that. Kudos to that.
Yeah. I also listen to Funhouse podcast, Dude Soup, which is a subsidiary of Rooster Teeth. What else? I listen to the Joe Budden podcast every now and then when I want to know about like hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
And just some health ones every now and then. There's one like The Muscle and the Mind. I think that's what it's called. And I listen to Joe Rogan when he brings on people that like psychologists or political figures or whatever.
I like Joe Rogan because there's a large variety. And I'm pretty sure there's a Joe Rogan podcast for anyone out there. Yeah. And that's what I love.
You're learning on those podcasts.
H3H3 is also great.
Yes.
I mean, they're one of like the OGs when podcasts were reviving.
Oh yeah.
And they were at kind of the driving force behind the podcast
start of it all.
Anything you listen to that's
I as of recent have been getting more into podcasts. I started off with the congratulations because you guys would talk about that one a lot. So I'm still trying to catch up because he also has a bunch, like 100 something. I think I'm like halfway there. So that one, I listened to the Views podcast with David Dobrik and Jason Nash, just because I watched them on YouTube, so it just kind of captivated me. They just talk a lot of nonsense. So it's not very educational or anything like that, but it's just something I put on in the background, kind of listen to. There's a T Mills one, but that one I've only listened to like a couple whenever he has guests that I'm interested in.
That's a YouTuber, right?
T Mills?
No, T Mills is an artist.
He used to be an artist,
really?
yeah. Or yeah, he does acting now and stuff like that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but those are like the basic ones I listen to. I don't listen to that many. I listen to another one called Scary Stories Told in the Dark. That's a podcast, but that's just a bunch of like.
That's
It's
just
the
the books.
No, that's a whole different thing. This is just like another name they have for it, and they just kind of read stories.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
I love them. That's what I listen to primarily for sure.
That's dope.
I don't know. I always think about getting into audiobooks, but I don't know.
That's essentially what it is, kind of.
Yeah, but the difference is when you're listening to a podcast, it's I feel like if I know they're reading from a book, I'm losing that connection to it because I don't know. I like reading books. I like reading the physical books.
Right.
And there's that disconnect when somebody else is reading it to me.
I feel like you retain more when you actually read it.
I agree. But I don't know. I haven't done it on my commutes. So I kind of want to try it.
I think you should.
I don't know, dude. I got a lot of podcasts to catch up on. There's so much shit. But that's what I'm getting at is it's a lot. There's a lot of podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
You should be listening to this one and this one only, probably. Which brings me to my next thing. We're going to release this podcast bi-weekly.
Yes.
As of now, and I say that not making promises. I say that because we do want to decide maybe later if we like the fluidity and how it's going. We may put out extra episodes, or we may start doing it weekly. But again, maybe don't. I'm not saying we are.
Right.
I'm not trying to put that out there.
We're going with the flow.
We're going with the flow. But that could be a potential thing. So I guess you'll have to stick around and listen to every single podcast until we talk about if we're going to do that or not. So look at that. Real gin. Fucking got him.
So let's switch gears here. And I want to talk about Alienated Films as a channel, as a brand, and like what you guys like to do and what you guys want to do.
Yeah.
So I'll let you kind of start off.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about it.
Oh, that was my 20 talking.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah. No, Alienated Films is a YouTube channel. Well, so I started out as a YouTube channel in 2014. Yeah. One of the first things we ever did was, the reason we actually kind of made it is because of this Crash the Super Bowl thing that Doritos did. And it was essentially you made a 30-second commercial for Doritos, and those are the commercials you saw on the Super Bowl
Super
commercials.
Bowl halftime,
halftime shows and the commercials throughout. And so Manny and I remember you getting a new camera.
Yeah.
You got a new camera and a new lens, and we really wanted to use it. So it was a really good opportunity because we both were so involved in film and wanted to really pursue that to make a channel. And so that is what we did. Which I might add, we did get on the most viewed page a couple times. Really thought we had a chance. Failed like many times after.
I think we made a couple for that.
We did.
round.
We did have a couple, and I still have the pictures of the pictures I took, and I circled where our little thumbnails were, and I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, they some of them were pretty funny, but I think our production value was too low,
Very low.
and that's what the problem was. But anyway, started out in 2014 mainly because of that. Started to make short films with friends and whatnot. 2015. When was every Saturday?
2016.
2016. So 2015 comes around, still kind of doing the same thing, dabbling. We reached 2016, and Manny and I decide to do weekly content.
Right.
So we released every Saturday, and a very interesting year of our lives.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the best transitions to how we are now was that year. So we decided to release every Saturday and do very well for the first half. We were very strong first half. Second half, pretty shaky.
It was hit or miss.
And there's a lot of content that was very forced, which ultimately we did keep on the channel because we felt like it was. Whether it be our least liked, it was a lot of people's most liked. Right. And so for that, you can't take that away from the people that love it, and that could be the video that really introduced them to our channel. So, you know what, there's lighting
and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, we do the every week thing in 2016. Takes a bit of a toll on us.
It does, because it was every week we had to try to plan
and we
something.
Both had jobs.
Both had jobs, had to find an idea for the video. We would do a lot of travel videos, so we would have to travel.
Yep.
We'd have to film, come back, we'd have to edit, and then we'd put it out.
Yeah.
And that's what happened like the first half of the year. Second half of the year, because we were getting tired, we were even filming that Friday and filming or editing that Friday night and posting it that Saturday morning.
But I'll never forget something that a man from Corridor Digital, Sam Gorski, he always said this. He said, if you can film a short film on YouTube in a day, he goes, get off of YouTube. And I was like, you know what? Now I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Now I don't feel bad because their stuff, at least to me, looks very high budget and it's very well shot and very well executed. And so for him to say that really was kind of a redeeming factor in the decision we made to do it, because we did. We'd film pretty much everything we did in one day. And as soon as he said that, a weight off my shoulders. Now, granted, was our execution proper? Probably not. There could have been a lot of planning, which we're still working on, and that's a thing that is progressively getting better and better. I see it, definitely, and it's happening.
No, yeah, I see it too.
But you know what? Don't regret that at all. Was it really difficult? Yes. Do I think everybody should try it? Yes. Because we also put out some of our best content.
Yeah.
Or some of our better content. Not our best, but our better content.
Yes.
We came out with a lot of short films that people loved and are still some of their favorites because of the Every Saturday.
Yeah.
Which still is actually really baffling to me. Just because I don't know, man. It's such a short time to do it. We did write some. But to write it, to plan it out, to shoot it, and then to edit it in a week, and then get it out on a Saturday. But we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. Ultimately, we complete the 2016 year. Thank fucking God. Because next year, Manny and I had a few conversations about how we were going to approach next year. And we knew that we needed to step back a little bit and give ourselves some room to breathe. Otherwise, it was going to be too much weight on the shoulders that
right.
I don't think we couldn't handle because we just did it for a year.
Right.
But we needed it for health. For a healthy mind.
What did we do that year? We came out with 2 every month?
Yes, we came out. Yeah, we were bi-weekly now.
Right,
so it was every other Saturday, which, to be honest, I thought was really good. And I thought that was a good consistent amount because people knew they were getting 2 videos. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost certain sometimes they got more.
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah. So I thought that was, we just didn't know what to do with ourselves with that extra Saturday. No, but there was a lot of weight off the shoulders, and I loved it. But anyway, so the 2017, right? 2017 year goes by. The every other Saturday thing. This is when we're getting into
drinking heavily.
Yes. A lot of narcotics. Nah, we didn't live that kind of life. The drinking, yes, not the narcotics.
Oh yeah, the drinking, yes.
The drinking, yes.
The stuff now.
And and I think why? Because I know most of us didn't drink in high school. I don't know if you did, Jay.
Not in high school.
Not in high school, right?
Immediately after high school,
right?
Yes.
So yeah, I don't think we ever lived that party life.
No, never
ever,
did.
Because we never drank until we turned 21 for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think we just kind of let it all out. Those
I had a lot of years to catch up on, you know.
Yeah.
So I had to really put it down, and now
we're caught
can
up.
barely put it down.
We're caught up, and now we're head first on our businesses and stuff like that.
We are, and this is what's good about this podcast. But anyway, let me just clear this slate up. 2017 is coming to a close. We're putting a lot of films into contests, and we're doing really well. 2017, or no, I'm sorry, was 2017 the Ohio trip, or was it 2016?
I think that was 20. Oh, it was before we did the one every week.
Right. Oh,
right.
So this was like end of 2015. Wait, no.
I thought your Ohio trip was in 20. I thought you did actually the every week 2017, and 2018 was your bi-weekly videos.
Because I remember we started our first vlog going to Ohio. So that's when we started the whole thing.
Do I have my dates fucked up?
They might have been, but they
everything
might
Brandon
be right.
just said, push it up a year.
Up a year. 2017 was every Saturday, and
2018 was every Saturday.
Huh.
2018 was every other Saturday.
Okay.
Or every bi-weekly.
Damn, it actually feels so long ago.
It does. Like even
but I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
When
you're doing something for.
We're getting a fact check because I could have just given you guys completely wrong information. Is that so? Manny's looking.
2016 was the first vlog. So then after that we did. Yeah, so no, right timeline.
Oh, okay. What did you guys do in 2018?
Probably nothing.
Nothing important.
No, in 2018 we did like slack off a lot with the videos. I don't think we came out that much. 2018 compared to the earlier years.
Well,
because we did once every Saturday.
Didn't you guys do a lot of effect stuff? 2018 was a very like effect.
We experimented a lot.
It was an ambitious year. It was.
Yeah. So we didn't release a lot, but we were working on or more ideas.
Yeah, I don't know. This is my first time talking about Alienated Films.
Yeah. Who are those guys?
Yeah, who are those guys? Yeah. But anyway, okay. So my timelines are right.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah,
2017
they're right,
every other Saturday thing. But anyway, we start to push films into film contests, which we are finalists and semifinalists for. Unfortunately, did not win them, but got very close. And for that, incredibly grateful for taking that extra Saturday, and it obviously worked.
It did, yeah.
That's what I loved. Yeah, apparently 2018 was a down year. I'm not sure if it was really just ultimately draining still from the year previous.
I think so.
I think you guys were trying to find out who
you
guys were as a channel.
I mean,
I know that sounds super cliche to say, but I think that's what like 2018 was like. All right, who are we as a channel? And you guys really found hit your stride at the the 3/4 of the way through, and like leading into this year, which I think 2018 is probably your most successful year in terms of that aspect,
development.
Yeah.
I agree. To be honest, I'd say 2016 is our most successful year in development, but I also think that was the most trial and error year.
Yeah.
Just because the more content output. But I get what you're saying. I'm not denying that. But I do think that 2016, you know what, if you're in the YouTube game, try that every week. Really try it. Because it also goes to show you just how much you can handle.
Oh yeah.
As a content creator, and there is no real secret to the YouTube game and the algorithm. You got to put out content, or if you don't put out content, you have to make sure the content you put out is valuable content that is easily consumed and is going to be the best clickable content. Unfortunately, that's majority of what it is. Is it going to be the most clickable content?
Right. Even if it's like 2-3 minutes of stuff,
as
people
long as
are so hell bent on like it being long. If you can't produce something that's like longer than 5 minutes, don't. Just do like something that's a minute, like even 3 minutes.
But also, audience retention is very hard to retain.
Yeah.
Because people like the 2-3 minute videos.
Oh, yeah.
And those are some of the most successful videos. Unless you're already an established creator on the platform, you can't really put out. You can't put a ridiculous amount of content out that's long because people don't want to. They aren't entertained by that. However, I do think that you can if it's valuable enough information and they can learn from it. And I like how YouTube's going now because I feel like it's becoming a lot of a platform that you can learn from instead of a mindless bullshit content.
Oh yeah.
It's becoming easy to consume things that are going to help. Whereas before it wasn't. Before it was very saturated by vlogs. And vlogs were mindless and didn't serve a purpose. Really.
That was a trend for a while.
It was a trend for a while.
YouTube hits a lot of trends, and now it is the podcast stuff.
Yeah, the podcast is a huge trend.
Yeah.
But I like it better because again, I think it's there's this education level in that now, and
it's nice.
Yeah, and that's where I think we're going. So in 2019, we don't have necessarily a method to our madness now. We're putting out content that we know is going to be valuable to our viewers.
So we learned from 2016, from 2017, and then 2018 is what I was looking up a little earlier that's when we did our first wedding. So that's when we started getting to that kind of stuff.
And that is when I think we really pushed to start doing a more business-oriented YouTube channel and create a name that is a business. There's really like, oh man, there's nothing more exciting than somebody talking about working with Alienated Films, and they use it as, "Hey, I worked with this business."
Because they take you seriously, like
absolutely.
as like a body, like an organization, like an actual business. And there's nothing more validating when someone is talking about you or talking with you or to you in that way.
Yeah, I agree. And I love that now in 2019, especially, it's becoming a thing where people are talking about us. It was funny. My neighbor, who I don't really talk to, we were
Which
leaving,
one?
One on the right side of my house.
When you walk out of the garage or when you're looking at your
walk
house?
outside of the garage.
Okay.
And she was asking us why we had our cameras when we were walking out, because she doesn't see us all the time. She probably doesn't know what I do. Actually, she definitely doesn't know what I do. Yeah. But we walked out, and she was saying, "Well, what are you guys shooting?" And I said something, probably we're gonna go take pictures or something. And she goes, oh yeah. And I said, yeah, I have a YouTube channel, because again, never talked to the lady.
Right.
And she goes, oh really? And I said, yeah, Alienated Films. And she said, oh, I think I've heard of you guys. Yeah. And I was like, damn, dope. First of all, so sick. You could be lying. Yeah. Probably fucking lying. I don't care if you're lying.
Right.
Because to me, I took it with a grain of salt, but still, she said, I might have heard of you. And to be honest, she probably has. Who knows? But it's so, it's just amazing knowing that all of this hard work is finally paying off.
Yeah.
And it's finally being seen by the right people, and the right people are talking about it. And yes, we have, like Manny said before, we're starting to dabble in the wedding business, which is an amazing place to be if you're a videographer or a photographer. There's, I know people don't like to talk about it, but there's money there. There's a lot of money there, because people are willing to flesh out a lot of money for their perfect day. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I would encourage to definitely pursue something like that. And weddings are challenging. Yeah. Probably some of the hardest filmmaking to do, because here's the thing, you don't really get two shots.
No, you don't.
You got one chance. Right. And if you fuck it up, you fuck it up, and you can't fix it. There's no fixing it.
It's a big learning curve, because you have to be, it's run and gun.
Yeah.
Like they're going to kiss right now. You can't tell them to
you can't tell them to stop.
Yeah. Can you walk down the aisle one more time? I was kind of shaky.
Yeah.
No, you have to be on point.
It is.
Every step of the way.
I feel like it has to be the most accurate type of filmmaking and photography.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't nail it, you don't nail it. You can't, there's no compensating later. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I would encourage you to, if you are a filmmaker or a photographer, I would encourage you to maybe dabble in that business, because I think it again is the most challenging. And I don't think we really thought we would enjoy it as much as we do.
Oh no, yeah.
Until we did it. And it's when you finish that long day. They're very long days.
Oh,
they're very gruesome, very long, and sometimes you don't eat.
You don't.
I'll say it. They don't feed you sometimes.
Starving.
Pisses me off. No, I'm sorry. So I think you got to try it.
Yeah, because you can learn a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of learning you can do while shooting a wedding. The good thing was that we shot this wedding for a friend, so I think that made it a lot easier for us, which was perfect, because then we weren't as stressed as we would have been if they were just complete strangers.
Yeah, Manny missed a kiss in a wedding.
Which one?
I did.
Manny did miss a kiss, and when he told me, my heart sank. It was, I'm not going to say the names, mainly because I don't think they know.
Okay, but so
nice.
I had a malfunction with my camera. So I was shooting it on like the SD card wasn't fast enough to run like the video from my camera.
So it was.
So I was shooting it. I was shooting it perfectly. I had it shot. It was recording, and then they're like, "Okay, you may kiss the bride." Stops recording because it said the SD card just couldn't handle it. And I was like, and I look over at Brandon, and then luckily he did catch it.
I did, yeah.
But as soon as that,
wild,
dude, I was so pissed because it literally had never happened before.
Yeah, that
was the first and only time it happened. So it was so weird that was the point it happened. Was the most crucial part of literally anything we will ever shoot.
That is it, dude. That's all the people fucking care about.
Yeah.
In the highlight reels, if they don't get that kiss, they're not paying us.
That is the peak.
And they're not telling people about us either.
Yeah.
They're fucking.
But he caught it, and we worked. The video was beautiful. So
video was great, and the couple was amazing, easy to work with. But my God, dude, never come up to me and tell me that again.
Yeah, no. But
hey, if you don't capture it, don't tell me.
Yeah. Oh no.
Don't tell me. Edit it later. Let me figure it out later. But don't tell me the day of.
No. Yeah. Oh God, I was just so stressed.
But we did cover it up. We did. I mean, not necessarily covered it up, but
we just worked with what we had.
We did, and it was an amazing video. I love it.
It was one of my favorites. That wedding was fun.
Oh, dude, it was great.
That's the other thing about shooting wedding is that like everyone's happy at a wedding because I mean they're just celebrating like their friends or family. They're getting married, so everyone's happy. Everyone's in a good mood.
Environment's very healthy. It's a good place to be.
Oh,
but my God, dude, don't miss a kiss.
No, yeah, I'm getting anxious just thinking about it again.
But this is an interesting thing because, in due time, we're going to be now kind of transforming. So we've only done videography for weddings. We're going to make the transformation to hybrid. So we're going to do photography and videography. So what that means is that Manny is now primarily video on his own. And so
the thing with this one, I'll have a second camera anyways.
Right. That's very true. But you never know.
Never know. But now I know my camera.
That's true.
I think that was the first time I literally ever used my camera. That's when I had my GH4. I just got it and we shot a wedding.
Oh, I know what wedding you're talking about now.
Yeah. So that was the first time I ever used it.
He's like, yeah, that was blatantly obvious you missed the kiss.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I'll have two cameras. And the first wedding we ever did, we did do photography. We just didn't fall in love with it because we had to we had to place people.
Right.
And I can't do that personally. And it wasn't as fun.
And then you're getting somebody for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh yeah.
My girlfriend works at a photography studio, and one of her primary jobs is to post people for pictures. She does the graduation photos. She goes to the schools and takes the sports teams photos, and she poses all of them. So my idea for that business model would be to bring her on and use her as kind of the coordinator, because myself and Manny don't like to pose people. Now individually, I'm fine. It's the larger groups. The larger groups are very difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And weddings are, well, they never run on time, but that's the problem. They're always behind.
Right.
And that gives people like us less time to do what we need to do. So it needs to be accurate. It needs to be quick. And I feel like adding that X factor that'll now expedite the process of that, us setting them up is going to make it a lot easier day of.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to do that. It's great because, as I said earlier, there's a lot of money in that business.
Right.
And so now our packages are going to be very nice.
Yeah.
They're going to leave our pockets
Your
fat.
pockets filled.
And having her work with us too, because we've worked with other like photographers.
Yeah.
And it's I think every time we have worked with them, it is like a couple. Like the girl is always coordinating.
Really every time.
Yeah. They're coordinating and the boyfriend's taking the photo.
That's awesome though.
Yeah. It's cool and it works. Apparently they always have fun. I mean, they're at a wedding.
Yeah.
Making money together. So.
And I'm one of those people that calls the major bullshit on mixing business and pleasure. I feel like you can absolutely do that. There's no such thing really. I find that an excuse. And I like to say that because I know that is one of the first things that comes to people's mind.
Yeah.
Is, oh no, man, that's your relationship and now you're making it part of the business. And I'm like,
I
hey,
don't know, man, maybe you should shut up.
Hey, man, are you single? Are you alone?
Yeah.
That's sorry, made our producer cry. But no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be so goddamn exciting when we can finally do this full time. And I'd like to add that it's not just weddings. It's going to be music videos and short films for other people.
Yeah.
That's
another cool thing too to do. Like someone's like, I have this idea, but I don't know how to work the technology to make my idea come to fruition. And you're like, well, we can do it for you.
Yeah.
Just let us know and we'll work something out. Yeah. That's really cool.
I'm just really excited to work with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that brings me to my next kind of topic is the town we live in. There's always been this idea that unless you move away, you can't make it in the town we live in. I don't really want to disclose our town, mainly just because, I don't know where this podcast is going to go.
Right.
So but I'm just going to say our town. There's this idea. If you don't move, you don't make it. Which
such a stupid way of
which
thinking.
I find like is actually the biggest excuse for why people aren't making it is because they're allowing that to be their reason behind them being unsuccessful. I've personally seen people come out of this town very fruitful and very successful and are now becoming more and more successful. Yeah. And so right there is already that idea out the window. There's no reason you can't make it. And I feel like if you know who we are in person and you're one of the people that is saying that, stop. Just stop, dude. You have a problem. Yeah. You have a problem.
Because you know what it is? It's this inherent laziness to make excuses for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because it's easy to say, "Oh, dude, this place I live in is holding me back." Why?
Yeah. And then
if you have a job, if you have a job, a place to live, internet, or whatever your job is, whatever your dream is, you can make it happen. Mm-hmm. You just have to like put in the work to push on and like keep doing it. Moving to, Oregon or, anywhere else where, is not going to help you. It's not going to benefit you in any way because you leaving your town, you are still the same person.
Yeah.
Moving to that different area.
Yeah. I don't think it's location. And I feel like coming from, not necessarily your realm, but coming from our realm where it's art based, we live in a desert area. A lot of nothing. There really is a lot of nothing. But to be in the kind of art industry and living in nothing, and to still say there's opportunity is a clear indication that there's opportunity. Right. Because there's not much out here, but it's really what you make of it. And
there's enough to make do.
Absolutely. And I feel like, you got to surround yourself with confident people and motivating people.
Yep.
And it's nice. We had this conversation last night with a close group of our friends, and it got so intimate and so sweaty.
Yeah. I mean, it was a real shame if you weren't a part of that conversation.
Yeah. We're talking about our friend Austin, who is being very helpful on this podcast. And when we say our producer, that's who we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Little quick side thing about Austin. Austin has moved and his chair has creaked, and you probably have heard it on the mics now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Austin. No, Austin is our producer for this podcast, and he also produces music, primarily in the hip hop realm. If that's fair enough to say. He makes hip hop beats, which I know he did release a beat sample pack. Right? Is that proper to say as well? Can I say that?
Can you say that?
Can I say that on this podcast? That?
Beat demo. Okay.
I didn't say talk, asshole.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Austin released a beat demo recently, and I'd like to also add, I don't know if we have personally told you yet, but we have all listened to it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. It is fire.
It is very good. It is very good, and everybody really liked it, and we're finally glad you are releasing content. So
we were about to drop you from our inner circle, man.
Oh man, dude, you were holding everybody back.
We all had your contact almost deleted.
Yeah, I removed your name from my phone. Once the name's gone,
I removed you from my life. But then I was like, oh, he dropped a little demo.
What does he call himself though?
Oh, he calls himself Theory Recordings, right? Yeah, Theory Recordings. You can that's pretty much all of his social media handles now. He is in the process of rebranding himself. And so we are going to share every podcast in our description on YouTube because I don't think you can really put it anywhere else. Austin's information, all of his social media handles and his beat demo. So you can bump and grind to it.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting no views from this. I'm so sorry.
Because we're not paying him, so we're trying to find a way to...
No, I paid him.
Oh, Jesus.
I paid him in kisses.
There we
besitos. Go. No, but yeah, Austin makes really cool stuff, and I think you guys will enjoy it, and hopefully he puts out a lot of stuff because we have been encouraging him to, and he just keeps lying to us. Breaking hearts on a consistent basis.
Oh, right. But that's what you were talking about, like surrounding yourself with like people who
Austin was almost not there. About to fucking cut him. about to cut him out of the group.
Yep.
But we're all striving and working on other things. And
We are.
Right.
Like, if you see, or like, let's just say we see Austin grinding, we're also gonna be like, okay, well, we should pick up our space or like our pace as well.
What I love is, sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to probably do that because that is actually the person I am, and I'm very sorry.
No, keep going. I hate it.
You hate it? Is that what you said? No, I'm really sorry. It's such an asshole thing for
No,
me to
keep
do.
going.
And I love how I look at you and I do this. I put my hand out. And
No,
I just
because
I say, hey, stop.
Such a cock thing.
It is a cock thing. But you know, my mom always told me growing up that this was an Italian thing.
I feel like it
The
has to be.
moving hands.
And you can't see
That's
this.
such a lie.
Pancakes.
That is such a lie. That's an everybody thing. Everybody does that.
Yeah. I think it's,
I'm getting so off topic.
yeah.
But no, you are right though. And what I love is that we have a lot of friends that dabble in different industries.
Right.
Austin in the music, us in the film. You are in the very fitness and active based community, which I really would like to talk about because I don't know a lot about. And I know right now Jake is in the process of starting up his own personal business, and you signed a client already.
I did.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. And
Awesome. Thanks, Jake.
you forgot to do the hand thing.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, it's super exciting to like embark on this journey of entrepreneurship and like owning your own business that has something to do with like, you know, health and fitness. And people are like, online, aren't you supposed to be in person training? I'm like, well, yeah, but I offer like so much more than that. It goes beyond like just lift these weights this many times.
Yeah.
And it also goes beyond eat this much food, you know, at this certain time or, you know, whatever. Like I also offer like guidance and, you know, like as someone to like talk to and to expand their views and their knowledge. And, you know, all those other things, like I'm a coach. It's like people are like, what does that even mean? What is that supposed to like entail? And it's such a hard thing to describe because everyone's different. Everyone, you know, is different. Everyone has different needs. So this client that I signed about a week ago, they're having a hard time like finding the mental drive, the mental capacity to go in and make an effort to be in the gym. And I can give them, you know, you can give somebody, you know, a workout plan and a diet plan and whatnot, but like they, you know, have to find it within themselves to go.
Right.
But I provide them also that spark. Like we talk, like communication is like the main drive for this person, and they need, you know, that person in their corner, and that's who I am to them. Now, what I provide is a very like, and I hate talking about like, you know, money and pricing, but like I offer, you know, this service that is expensive, and people have such a hard time understanding, in like investing themselves financially in a big like investment, because what's the difference between someone who, you know, spends $20 on a workout program versus someone who spends $1,500? The person who spends 20 is more than likely not to follow through,
Right.
and not to do it, and just, you know, like, oh, I only spend $20, I'll do it later.
It's an investment.
Right.
Yeah.
And the person who spent $1,500, they're like, I just fucking put this money into myself because I believe in myself, and I know I'm gonna change for the better. I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing with it all.
Yeah.
And I don't work with people who are not, you know, like 100% committed.
Right.
If
That's a waste of your time.
Yeah. You know, if I'm on the phone with somebody and I'm like, you know, if you were to scale yourself a 9 out of 10, like on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on that scale? He's like, oh, I'm like a 9. I'm like, nope, sorry. I don't tell him exactly like that.
Yeah.
I tell him, look, I only work with 10s. And I only work with 10s because I want to see the results that I expect from people that are 10s. And unfortunately, this won't work out. Hopefully, you can find within yourself to be the 10 out of 10 that I look for to work with. And then we can work, you know, with each other in the future. And it's just one of those things. It's like, again, it's surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
And you want to surround yourselves with the right clients and the right people you want to work with.
Yeah.
So,
and also it's nice because I feel like the results you'll see from the 10s versus the 9s anyway are going to be a substantial difference, and probably a lot more motivating seeing the 10s, because you know the work they're going to put into your program is going to be worth it for them, and in return worth it for you.
Right.
I get that. I mean, I'd be an 8.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
Do I get discount if I'm an 8?
I charge you more.
Oh shit! I'm a 10, baby.
Every tick is like $1,000 more.
Oh, you know what? I'm way over a 10, baby. Let's go. Let's have that shit.
I'm at 11.
I like what you're doing. I feel like maybe in another podcast I'd like to go in depth with how you approach it, because I know you're in a mentorship right now, and it seems like you're enjoying it and you're learning a lot from it, and I'd really like to go into depth about that. Probably 17 podcasts down the line.
Where it's like not important anymore.
No, but I feel like I'd maybe like to go into it after you're done.
Yeah.
How long is the program?
So the program is 100 days.
Okay.
But I'm flying through the modules because, I want to get it started.
You can end it earlier than 100, or is it supposed to be 100?
So it's 100 days, and to be a part of the community, because I'm part of also this Facebook group as well that, we talk to each other and bounce ideas off of.
After the 100,
after the 100, you have the option to be removed from the community, and that's it.
Okay.
Or you can essentially is to go beyond the mentorship and go to another step, and it's all about scaling. Okay. So right now, it's all about organic growing, and then stepping into the internet space, online stuff. We barely scratch the surface of online ads, and the next step is 100% online ads, Instagram stuff, and then hiring people to do the grunt work that you did prior. So you don't have to do it. So all you have to worry about is just writing the programs and things like that. So it's crazy to think about, after 100 days, I could be at that point, and I will be at that point.
Yeah.
So
it's exciting. And I love seeing the individual growth, and I love seeing your invested time into it, and how much knowledge you're coming out of this program with. My question, actually, and this has been something that I have found kind of interesting, is what makes it so different to where I can go and Google this stuff versus you being in a mentorship? Because the only reason I ask that is because I know you can.
Right.
And I'm wondering if now this is my conclusion, is that it is a lot, again, a self-investment. So you paid the money, you're in there now.
It's exactly what that is.
I get that, because people are motivated enough to go out of their way and do it. Okay. I figured that was it, because I'm never wrong. But
no, you're 100% right. I could have gone on Google and figured it out all by myself.
But after a couple of days,
after a couple of days, I'm like,
I get that.
But investing the money, which was a bit of money into the mentorship, and them giving me the information that I need and all the tools that I need. And then I'm like, I spent this money. I'm going to make more fucking money doing it and investing in myself.
You're competent way quick anyway.
Right.
So
exactly.
This is an interesting story that I want to talk about. You came across a large sum of money as of recent, which is a lot of the motivation behind you taking these steps, because you're finally financially available to take these steps. But I think it's an interesting story about how you came across this sum of money. If you don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind talking about it at all.
I don't mind talking about my 20 grand that I just comped with no problem.
So, and the job I still have right now is I'm a physical education assistant. For a PE coach at the school, and I used to be full-time with the school district. I had benefits, I had full-time hours, the whole shebang. And the last year at the end, they told us, hey, we're hiring more teachers, so we don't need you as long, so we're cutting your hours and we're taking away your benefits. And I was like, okay, me being 23 at the time I'm 24 now. Still being on my parents' insurance, I was like, I don't care. All right, fine, whatever.
Sure, dude.
And I was like, that's fine. Come this year, about 2 months ago, I get a call from from Angelica, and she's like, "Hey, did you go to that meeting?" I'm like, "What meeting? What are you talking about?" And she's like, "There was this meeting that, us aides that got, our hours cut and stuff. We're getting money, or you're getting money." I was like, "What?" I was like, and I was thinking,
Oh no,
like,
I don't take that.
yeah.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no, 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 no.
I was like, "What? Like, how much?" And I was thinking like, $1,000, $2,000, whatever.
Right.
And she was like, $20,000. I almost shit myself. I was like, "What?"
And you could have shit yourself, paid somebody to clean it up.
Yeah, exactly. And so it turns out that the district, when they cut our hours and took away our benefits, they did not go through our union first. Yeah. And so our union fought for us to get it back, but then they would have just gone to like the union again, removed it. So instead, we wanted to be financially compensated for it. So apparently they spend $16,000 per person to have insurance, and then they tacked on another $4,000 for the missed time.
So that's why. That's
why I came out to 20.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is crazy.
That's wild.
And the moment that money hit my bank, I wiped all my debt.
Smart.
And and then I got into the program.
Yeah. I remember it being very, very quick. You got money into your account.
It was all within a day. Because if you're listening to this like podcast, don't like spend money on credit cards that you cannot handle. And I can't stress that enough. Granted, my parents told me this, but I grew up in a very sheltered home a lot of my life. I didn't get to do things on my own, without going through my parents first. And I was at, that age of like, I don't want to fucking listen to my parents. So I did it anyway.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that your parents tell you, and you can listen from this podcast, do not spend money on credit cards that you cannot handle. I was $3,000+ in debt.
Yeah.
I was stressed.
It's dangerous.
That's where I'm at right now. Literally that amount. I'm stressed.
Let me imagine all that
gone
in a day.
Dude.
I can't imagine. Dude.
I have never felt more relaxed in my entire life.
And here's the thing. It is so easy to use a credit card.
Yeah.
It's so easy because in your mind, you're like, just pay for it later.
Yeah.
That's always.
I gotta pay this off. I got 30 days.
Yeah.
It was the easiest time of my life. I was swiping left and right.
That's how it is, though. And that's exactly why debt is a scary thing. But it's so cool to know somebody that has relieved themselves of the debt they had. And a large amount. Yes. That's awesome. I really enjoy that you're not pissing it down the drain.
Oh, no, yeah. I put like pretty much the rest of it away.
For further investment,
Yeah.
Or for further any type of money issue you have. You're
like
gonna have
an oh shit fund or stuff like that.
That's a good oh shit fund.
Yeah.
You could fucking fall in that and you wouldn't feel the ground.
Right.
It's a nice oh shit fund.
Vegas. Just spend it all.
Spend it on Vegas, yeah. I mean, if you're down, it's not my money. You can put 10 G's on black.
Yeah. Let's see where that takes us. Huh?
Yeah, I'd love to see us lose that in a minute.
Yeah. But it's nice to have a nice cushion. And like now that and to think about like now that I don't have debt, I'm like, now the money that I get from work, I can just fucking put it away.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Well, yeah, because like you have that buffer zone now.
Yeah.
Which people dream of having. And I know people with hefty savings accounts. And they have really good money there, and it's so smart. It's so smart. I know you mentioned something about a filmmaker, or I'm pretty sure it was you. And what they did, actually, I'm not sure if it was you now, but I'm going to explain it, and then you can tell me if it was or not. But somebody told me there was a filmmaker who would put or tie an account to a release date. And what would happen is if they didn't hit that release date by releasing a video, $20 came out of their account. And if they did it, okay, then this must have, I know who it is now, but that's besides the point, doesn't matter. And so what would happen if they didn't hit the deadline, money's out of their bank account and they can't do anything about it. And the only way they can make that money back, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, they don't make it back. It just donates it to a charity, so you don't get the money back. That's it. And it was so interesting to me, and I actually really, really thought about doing something like that. But even the guy who was doing the seminar, who I don't know the name of, said that it was one of the best things he ever did because never miss a deadline.
Oh yeah, because then you're just losing money.
I think he did $100.
I think I remember hearing this somewhere.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
No, yeah. It's big too because you're like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna lose money.
Yeah, and here's the thing: once you lose it, it's gone.
It's gone.
It doesn't come back.
Yeah.
I thought that idea was cool. I don't know, maybe even an cool, interesting thing to do for you. I don't,
for me or for Alienated, when you guys are in that spot.
Yeah.
My biggest dream for like us, like my side business, aside from itself, because like I love working with you guys, and if some of you that don't know that I've acted in quite a few of their short films, which I love doing. That's one of my favorite things to do is to go out there and act in some of the stuff and just to do something that just doesn't it's not every day. It just is. It breaks it up.
Yeah.
And my biggest dream is to be in the spot where, and I talked about this guys about a month ago, is where you guys don't have to have regular jobs and I don't have to have a regular job and we can just fucking create content.
That's it, dude. That's it. That's the dream. The dream is to never. I mean, everybody always says it. Never to work a day in your life. Yeah. That's the ultimate goal. And right now we're working a lot, but in the end, it's going to pay off. It is going to pay off. There is no failure. There's no failure. And I know there's no failure for any of us because we're with the right people. And I think it's a really good time in all of our lives because we're the most motivated we've ever been to make this work. And it's going to work. It's going to work. Everybody's going to come out of this fruitful. We're going to make it out of this town that's holding us back. Yeah. And no, but I think I think it really is the best time in our lives to really just do it right now.
Yeah.
So but I don't know. I just think that's an interesting thing for people to think about.
Do we want to before we wrap it up, do we want to do our goals?
Yes. We wanted to start this idea, and also for you to do it when you're listening. At the end of our podcast, we want to set an individual goal for all of us to achieve by the next time we record the podcast following. So I guess I'll start off with mine. I want to try my hardest to motivate somebody to complete a task of maybe not a familiar realm. For example, if somebody isn't really if somebody's dabbling in video content creating, I'd like to really push them to create X amount of content before the next podcast. And if I complete that goal, then great. I've completed the goal I wanted to. I think that there's a lot of people out there that you can easily on social media scroll by and you're like, okay, they look like they're doing just fine.
Right.
There's always time for words of encouragement. Even if I don't think I can give them the best value, I can give them value.
Right.
And I think that'll help a lot of people. So that's my individual goal.
Nice. For me, so my max weeks are coming up. My max week, I'm sorry, not weeks, week. So I dedicate a day to a bench, squat, and deadlift, and an overhead press. But overhead press is not really calculated in powerlifting. But the numbers to hit would be a 265 bench, a 405 squat, and a 495 deadlift. And that's my goal.
Okay.
So
nice.
Next time we record this, I will have broken those numbers.
Okay, and this is within 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, next time we record our next podcast, which could
whenever.
Honestly be in 4 days. Yeah. I don't know.
Right, so whenever, okay.
Yeah. Time is of the essence.
That's true.
Don't do that. That's what I do. I point at you.
Right. All right, so what I want to do, because I was doing this for a while, was I was starting to meditate more. So I want to get back into that at least before I go to bed or when I wake up. I would prefer when I go to bed because then I get tired when I meditate. Mm-hmm. But I want to start doing that before I go to bed every day, or even 5 times a week, whatever. I just want to start meditating more because when I was starting to do it, it helped a lot. Mm-hmm. Like I was getting my mind straight. I was like, I could go to bed earlier just because I wasn't thinking about all these other things. I was just kind of like either planning my days or just forgetting about everything. Not on my phone, not watching TV, not watching YouTube, nothing like that. I was like, I just turned myself off for like however long the app was like going for.
Nice.
So I'd love to meditate again and start floating like I used to.
Like I used to
floating, yeah. When I first started.
Nice. I mean, all very realistic goals, and I feel like as we progress, our goals are going to be very ambitious, and we're going to do things that are going to be very challenging. But again, encourage all of our viewers and listeners to set a goal by the time you hear our next podcast, which again is going to be bi-weekly on Tuesdays.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So definitely do something ambitious. I mean, I'd encourage that too. I think it's important to do something out of your comfort zone and to do something that you may necessarily think you might not complete. But when you do, gratification.
Yeah,
it's going to be absolutely amazing. But I think that kind of concludes our first podcast for Alpha Beta Kappa.
Yes.
Which you can listen to on YouTube. We are going to have a Twitter, which is probably going to be the place we promote it the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to get ourselves on Spotify and the podcast app as soon as we can, which again, once you follow our Twitter, which is just at ABK Pod, I believe. Already made it, but still don't even know.
Right.
The links will be in the description on this YouTube video because this is the first video you'll see, and it probably won't be on the apps early.
Right.
So you can listen to us on those apps, and just make sure to subscribe.
Yep. Like, subscribe, favorite, whatever the platform you're watching or listening to this on. It's like a little ding. Do it.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to the first podcast.
Yeah, do the ding.
Do the ding.
Thanks, guys.
All right, dude.
All right.
Bye.